always wonder how long people stay in Auburn because I see the RVs pull out like Tuesday and they're back again Thursday. I'm like,
Right.
I didn't. What degree got you that job? Because I
I want
wasn't
it.
in the right one.
Buc-ee Beaver has arrived in Auburn. I have been waiting about 2 weeks to talk about this with you since it's happened. Now, if you've been at E2C Network on social media, if you've been here on YouTube, home base, and seen that we put out some video, that got another video about that coming out too, and maybe even something else coming out down the line. We'll see. I told you, I warned people, we are about to be overloaded with Buc-ee Beaver on this channel, on this network. I'm probably to a fault. I probably need to back off a little bit. But since you and I are back together, and since your two children now have gone there, let's talk about Buc-ee's. People have seen some of my experiences, so I'd like you to open up and just talk about having that in Auburn, why it's a big deal. Just what do you think?
Oh yeah, I have been to Buc-ee's before this Auburn one came a couple weeks ago. I think I'd been maybe just twice, to one near the beach, and that's probably the only one. I've probably been there twice. There's one closer to where I grew up, but I haven't been to it yet. I mean, the first time I ever went in I'd heard about it and, heard the things, had very much the opinion of, okay, it's just a gas station. I've been to big truck stops. What are
What's
we
up
looking
with
at
this
here?
cult?
Exactly. I mean, how much of an issue we have? Was amazed the first time I went. Couldn't believe there was this much stuff. Couldn't believe there were that many gas pumps, and couldn't believe that there was actually good food that you wanted to have at a Buc-ee's.
Couldn't believe Auburn's next greatest statue would be a beaver.
The beaver, and so we knew what we were getting into when we decided to go on the opening day. Emily and I took our boys on the opening day to Buc-ee's. By God's great divine intervention, there was a parking spot that opened up right by the front of the door, and so it was an easy move in. People everywhere, but we looked around all the clothes, all the toys, all the everything, got the full experience. We ended up getting Emily got the club sandwich. That I think is what it's called.
Winner, not chicken dinner, but winner whatever. She picked the best thing. I told you it's the best thing.
I was amazed. I had one bite of hers because that's all there was going to be. And I had a chopped brisket sandwich.
That's good too.
It was very good. That club though everybody always talks about that brisket sandwich, but that club is different.
It is.
And look, we can keep it underrated as long as they keep it stocked. I'm not gonna tell you the dollar amount we spent, Kyle, but it's embarrassing. But we got some beef jerky, which I love the Buc-ee's beef jerky. We got beaver the chips, the baked chips. We did not get the beaver nuggets this time. Emily likes the beaver nugget. They were giving out free samples though, so you can bet we took some.
Yep.
And I think we got something to drink. But I mean, it was fantastic. I love that it's here. Emily and I have both talked. I'm not sure how often we're going to be going over that way. It's about 10 minutes from where I live, and not really on the way to anything unless I'm going toward Montgomery. But I mean, it's just going to do great. I can't imagine.
It's going to do amazing.
I brought up so many times, sir. I cannot imagine how much money they made on that first day. But once we hit football season, Kyle, it's just printing money. It's just printing.
This is one of the things that I spent all day there, basically. Literally, you and I missed each other probably by 30 minutes. I'm kind of sad I didn't text you, but I was trying to give you your space that you needed during baby, initial.
You probably didn't think that I would be crazy enough to take my, week-old twins to Buc-ee's. So
Austin, I know you better than that. I know you're that crazy. But anyway, I'm glad you went because it was a sight to behold. I was there from opening moments. I was about number 15 in line, something like that. Got a free throw blanket. Jessica loves that now. Let me just disclaimer. I like Buc-ee's. I'm so happy it's part of Auburn. That's why we're talking about here. My wife is a fanatic about Buc-ee's. Like, she is one of the cult members. I'm the one that likes to instigate the cult member and just kind of like watch her go crazy. So obviously I like it and all that stuff, and then it's growing more in my love for it. That club sandwich, like you talked about. Oh, another little thing. Did you check out the kolaches? You know what a kolache is?
I do know what a kolache is. I did not check them out though.
For those of you who don't know, and there's different types, but the one I'm talking about, sausage and cheese. It's basically a pig in the blanket that's closed off. And yes, when they ask you, do you want it heated up? The answer always is yes. My goodness. Holy mess. Like, so there's so many things there. We're going to mention them all the time. But so I was there from opening moments, got to see the mad rush, and you can find a lot of that footage here on our YouTube channel and stuff like that. Even got to go back into the kitchen area and with their master chef guy, and he let me get like close up of them chopping up brisket and stuff. So it was a wild day at Buc-ee's. I'm going to butcher his last name. Maybe you know it better than mine, but the Auburn equipment manager for basketball, Kevin Furr, I think is how you say it.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Kevin, if I'm mispronouncing that, I'm sorry. But I think me and him bond over that a little bit over social media, because he apparently loves it just as much as everybody else. Like, he went and got a full Buc-ee's outfit. I saw that he shared on social media. Like, I think it was like a swim shorts and like shirt that goes with it. I mean, people were going nuts over this, like celebrities. Tommy Tuberville came for the opening.
Yeah.
I mean, they made it was about as Auburn as it could be for a company that doesn't really, you could tell they don't want to make it about Auburn and Alabama, but they've got a small little section where there was the other Crimson stuff there too. I guess they got to be fair and all that. And there was an Alabama fan or two, as some people pointed it out, that I saw. Why would you show up on opening day?
It's our favorite game. Can you find one at any public event? Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, why? Why are you here? Like, we're not gonna like not let you come in or anything like that, but just why? It just doesn't make sense, especially on a significant day like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had an incredible experience. I was overwhelmed with the response and the amount of people that were coming in and out. Went to the opening ceremony, all that kind of stuff. It was just nuts. Now, I think we had started talking about this point, and let's bring it back to this and why it's important for sports and things like that. You mentioned opening just football season, but imagine opening weekend for Auburn football. Do math real quick, Kyle. Almost a little over 3 months away, 4 months away. Can you imagine what they're gonna do in food sales? Let's throw gas sales and food sales out, because that's a given. But they sell, smokers. They smell. They smell really good.
They do.
They sell all kinds of tailgating stuff. Let's just put it at that. The amount of merchandise that is going to be moved at the Auburn Buc-ee's is incredible. And it's interesting, if we want to kind of put this into the Iron Bowl perspectives, that they chose Auburn and not Tuscaloosa. I don't think that's a coincidence. I'm just saying.
Both have an interstate exit for it, and a heavily populated, trafficked interstate exit. So I think the exit they put it on is genius. They're going to get so much travel from, if you just think about, it's an easy way to get to the beach.
Right.
You think about easy way to get to the Atlanta airport. But I mean, my goodness, like you said, the opening weekend, the first game of Auburn football, there's going to be people just traveling in general, right? And coming that way for the game. But everybody knows it's there too. And people, and by this point, like you said, it's going to be 4 months of people hearing about the Buc-ee's in Auburn. From the minute they open on that Friday till they close on, which do they close? They don't close, do they?
They do not close.
No. So, Friday at 4 a.m, all the way until, I always wonder how long people stay in Auburn, because I see the RVs pull out like Tuesday and they're back again Thursday. I'm like, what degree got you that job? Because I wasn't in the right one. But just Friday, you think about the 5 days every weekend they're going to get from Auburn home games. I would love to see the numbers. We'll never get to see that, Kyle, and we'll never get to really, gawk at that. But I would love to know.
Well, I want to say that because I don't know that it's going to happen. I may try to set up a conversation with someone from Buc-ee's, whether it's an Auburn specific Buc-ee's person or whatever. But I want to have this conversation. Do y'all realize what's about to happen? Like, I get that y'all do well wherever you go.
Yeah,
clearly, because you're expanding everywhere. I mean, I literally found out about this a few years ago. As my two brothers, one's still in Texas, but at the time both were in Texas. They introduced it to us. And I think it was like just a handful of them in Texas. And then before you knew it, they were coming out here. There was the one down on the way to Gulf Shores. There was the one up in Athens coming up. They're in Georgia. And then all of a sudden they've just taken over Alabama. And of course they go to the best place, Auburn, and not Tuscaloosa. We're going to continue to remind our brethren across the state that they have to come to us. Well, they can go to a couple other locations, but traditionally you can come to us for your Buc-ee's fix, and we'll remind you and make fun of you for coming in your Alabama gear to the Auburn Buc-ee's. But it's going to be a cool experience for the forever, I guess, because I don't see the monster that is Buc-ee's going anywhere, and it is going to be fun to watch how that unfolds as part of our Auburn experience.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I think, you want to think further down the line. That exit, for those that don't know, that's really all there is. That's all there is on that exit.
Yeah.
You can take a right off the interstate and get on College, that's way past Chewacla, and go left past Buc-ee's. That'll get you all the way kind of closer to Wire Road and in town. But that is all that is on that immediate exit after the interstate. So it'll be interesting to see what comes and wants to, pitch their flag next to Buc-ee's to take some of that business too, or feed off of it. So that might be our next busy exit in the Auburn Opelika area.
Well, it's not like the other ones are busy enough as it is, and that used to be a nice little quiet exit where you could kind of back in, come into Auburn, and now,
nope.
Game day is just never going to be the same. I think it's on exit 51. Little exit 51 is just never going to be the same again.
That's right.